kid is fun. Being a parent is fun too. But there are responsibilities and choices that go hand in hand with being a parent. One of these choices is about immunisation. Immunisations are the injections that protect our children from serious diseases. In this DVD, we look at how immunisation works, the diseases it protects against, and why it's important for children to be immunised.
One of the biggest responsibilities is keeping our baby safe, loved and protected. We read up about immunisations and we want her to grow up protected from diseases that we can prevent. Right now, at 6 weeks old, it's time for her first immunisations.
The choice was easy for us. Once we saw the GP and the nurse at the clinic, we decided that getting Emily fully immunised was the best protection against some pretty horrible diseases.
New Zealand has a free immunisation program. All babies are due for their first injections at 6 weeks. It's important that children receive all the injections they require at the right time. Deciding about immunising your children is best done as early as possible, for instance, during pregnancy. This means that your baby begins the immunisations on time and gets off to the best possible start. It's a parent's choice whether or not to immunise their child. Parents give consent for their child to be immunised.
It's a health thing, isn't it? You do it to keep your children safe. You do it to protect your children as best you can from everything possible.
I quite strongly believe in immunisation, and there's a social responsibility to do it, as well as, looking after the health of your children.
At first I was a bit of a sceptic until my son here contracted meningococcal disease. When I saw him laid up in the hospital, more or less lifeless, and ever since then, I've always had my kids immunised.
It's worth it. It's better than having the pain of the disease.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing to do. Obviously, if we can immunise against certain things, then it's worthwhile doing.
I think when you actually weigh up the risk of actually getting the disease and what that actually means for the child concerned, as opposed to the infinitesimal risk of complications resulting from having the immunisation, it's nearly common sense.
Measles, polio. Do you get like polo sip?
Hepatitis B.
Meningitis.
Diphtheria.
Hep B. And mumps.
Whooping cough comes to mind.
Oh gosh, I can't remember the others.
What else was there?
Children in New Zealand are offered free immunisations against hepatitis B, diphtheria, tetanus, whooping cough, Hib or Haemophilus influenza type B, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, pneumococcal, and human papillomavirus or HPV. Children will be protected from diseases when all the immunisations are completed. Vaccines are made to protect against certain diseases. They are made from a killed or weakened form of the virus or bacteria that causes the disease. Viruses or bacteria are also called germs. All vaccines used in New Zealand have been tested by scientists in clinical studies to ensure they are safe and that they work. Vaccines are injected into the body and work with our immune system to protect against the disease. So what is the immune system? Our body's immune system fights infection and illness. It does this by making antibodies that attack disease-causing viruses or bacteria that enter our body. The first time the disease-causing germ enters the body, the person may become ill with the disease. But the immune system soon starts to attack the germ. The person will then recover and develop antibodies against that germ. If the same germ enters the body again, these antibodies are ready to attack it. The person usually remains well during this time because they are now immune to, or protected from, that disease. When a vaccine, say the hepatitis B vaccine, is injected into the body, the immune system is triggered into making antibodies against the vaccine. If the hepatitis B virus later enters the body, the antibodies are already there and will attack the virus and prevent the person getting hepatitis B. That's how immunisation works.
Emily's here for her 6-week immunisations.
Her injections, yeah, it's quite hard but necessary.
I don't know who will hurt most.
She'll be fine.
Immunisations start when babies are 6 weeks old. This means babies will be protected from serious diseases at the earliest possible time.
Okay. So baby's well today?
Sure.
And hasn't had a fever or anything in the last couple of days?
No, she's been fine.
Good. She could be a little bit grizzly and need a few more cuddles, and that's okay. So if we just look at this pamphlet here, that's the
babies and toddlers will get up to 3 injections at each visit. Some injections protect against more than one disease. These combined injections are safe and effective for babies and children. They do not overload the immune system.
It's really important that she has her injections on time. So today she's having her 6-week injections, and then she'll need to have her 3 months one. Okay.
Details of the immunisations given go on the National Immunisation Register, or NIR. The NIR makes sure you have an up-to-date record of what immunisations your baby has received.
Put them on the National Immunisation
Diane
Register.
asks Hayley and Manu to wait with Emily in the clinic for 20 minutes after the injections in case of a serious reaction.
Are you happy with all that information? Yep. And are you happy for me to go ahead with the injections? Yep. Okay, I'll just go and get everything ready.
Serious reactions are very rare, but if they do occur, treatment that works quickly and safely can be given by the nurse or doctor. Usually, the only reaction is some slight pain, redness or swelling around the injection site, and your baby may be grizzly and a bit unsettled as well. Children will need to have all the recommended immunisations to be protected. To be fully effective, it's important that children receive the injections at the time they are due. But if you miss one of the immunisations, like this little fellow,
Would you like to come in?
it's never too late to catch up.
I know. I mean,
I don't know if it was so much a decision as that's kind of just what you do.
For us, it was a pretty straightforward decision. We took the time to listen to what was available, but it never really occurred to us not to do it, to be honest.
Polio, small injection. Didn't seem too complicated.
It seems to me safer to do it than not to do it, so yeah.
Well, she slept more than usual, which was good because it meant we got to catch up on some sleep.
Yeah, and she was a bit grizzly, but she just needed a few more breastfeeds and some cuddles, and she was fine. Got over it pretty quickly. Yeah. Hey.
Community immunity is an important part of protecting everyone against disease. When a disease enters our community, and when many people have been immunised against the disease, it does not circulate in the community. What this means is when you immunise your children, you are also helping to protect your community from serious diseases.
It worries me that some parents might not immunise their kids, and all of a sudden we'll have little measles breakouts and things like that in places because you lose your group immunity.
It's not just for the health of your children that you decide to immunise, it's for other people's health as well.
I do have all my children immunised, and I do recommend it for their well-being.
And the more babies that we get immunised, the less likely it is for these to spread, and the less of our mokopuna who have to suffer from it.
Remember, it's your choice to immunise your child. Immunisation protects against diseases. Immunisation is safe and effective for babies and children. Complete all doses on time for protection. It's never too late to start or catch up. Immunisations are free. Immunisation protects our children from diseases throughout their lives. For more information, contact your doctor, practice nurse or tamariki ora well-child nurse, or phone 0800 Immune, or visit the Ministry of Health website.